Alright. So we're going to begin again. And we start out, follow up in the Secret Stone Circle with Elizabeth Sunbeam at Valedale Village. So if you're not there and you haven't got here yet or whatever, then get here and let's get this going. Now, I am going to try to go with the main quests as long as I can. If for some reason I'm cut short because I need to do more side missions, then this will include side missions as well. So, here we go. Lisa's been rescued? Great news. I wasn't sure you'd succeed, but the light of Aiden shines strong in you, and you handle great challenges well. You're a true hero. I'll summon the druids to a meeting in the Secret Stone Circle immediately. See you there. Alright. Let's head up here. Time and space merge. Everything is calm. Always in motion. Hi again, and a big thank you to you, Amanda. Together with Starshine, you managed to save Lisa. Finally, Lisa's back. Brilliant. Really, Amanda? That was great work. It's good to be back and see you all. I've really missed you. At one point, I thought I'd never see daylight again. But now I'm here again, with all my friends. The Soul Riders are almost at full strength, and soon we'll have gathered all 4 partial copies of the Light Ceremony book. When we're ready and the time has come, we'll perform the Light Ceremony and be protected. For now, though, the time isn't right. Lisa, you should know that Dark Corps have their hands on the original Light Ceremony book. Everything points to their attempting to conduct the ceremony backwards, which will have catastrophic consequences. That doesn't sound good at all. What will they gain by this? What is their goal? If they perform the ceremony backwards, the crack between our reality and Pandora will widen. In the worst case, that which keeps our worlds separated will tear apart. What exactly happens next? We don't really know. One guess is that both our worlds will cease to exist, or at least cease to exist in the form and shape we know today. Dark Core thinks it will be able to control the enormous flow of Pandoric energy, and will likely use it in an attempt to seize control of the world. Maybe they know something we don't, but the druids are convinced it cannot lead to anything good. It will probably lead to the end of the world, so it needs to be stopped at all costs. That was a brief summary of the current situation. Lisa, could you tell us what happened to you? You were kidnapped and taken to Pandora. As you all know, I was on a world tour with my rock band, and I'd been away from Jorvik for a while. When I finally ended my tour and came back to Jorvik, those ill-willed Dark Riders succeeded in ambushing me and Starshine. Then they imprisoned me in the horrific world of Pandora. Starshine and I weren't on our guard. That's a mistake we'll never repeat. Later, I was rescued, as you all know. Thank goodness. In Pandora, I got in touch with the Primeval Tree, the sleeping widow. It was blurred and unclear, but her roots seemed to penetrate even into the unknown world of Pandora. The Primeval Tree slept in our world, but in the dreamscape of Pandora, she could reach out to me and communicate. She said she could help me out of Pandora, but the only way to do so was to wake her up. As a gesture in return, I was to help her with something. I don't know what yet, but I plan to find out. My time in Pandora is incoherent and blurred, but one thing happened. I got a strong feeling Anne was there at the same time as me. It wasn't just a weak sensation. I could really feel her presence, and it was clear. Because of this, I'm convinced Anne is there, and we have to try to save her. Maybe the Primeval Tree can help us again. I don't know. Interesting news. Maybe Anne is in Pandora. It would be great if we could locate her and save her as well. I would go so far as to say it's completely necessary. In a worst case scenario, it would require a rescue operation in Pandora. But that would have to be our last resort. At full strength, we would be very powerful. We'd also need to be aware of the dangers of a trip to Pandora. One does not simply walk into Pandora. I'm not afraid. We have to save her no matter what. We owe it to her. If we have even the slightest lead, we have to follow it up. We're always 100% there for each other. Yes, Alex. We'll do that. No doubt about it. I don't long to go back, but for Anne's sake, another matter. I wonder if we can lure Justin away from the grip of the Dark Riders. He and I went to the same school. I know him a little. And Amanda, you know him a bit too, right? If we can remove Justin from Dark Core and the Dark Riders, they'll become even weaker. It's true. At least Amanda stopped Justin from turning his horse into as Dark Horse. That's good. Last time Amanda visited the headquarters of Dark Core and saw Justin, he seemed quite determined to continue working for the dark side. We'll have to think of something to make him change his mind. If you could remove Justin from Dark Core, it would be a massive achievement. But for now, we'll focus on the light ceremony that we'll be performing when the time is right. We'll also keep an eye on any movements made by the Dark Core. We also need to find the other copies of the book and try to rescue Anne. This meeting is adjourned for now. We'll see each other again soon. Welcome back to reality, Lisa. And yet again, many thanks to you, Amanda, for your efforts for the Keepers of Aiden. May the light of Aiden shine upon us and scatter the darkness that surrounds us. And listen, Lisa, don't forget to return the favor. The Primeval Trees have a tendency towards Primeval Rage if they feel tricked. And the wrath of the Primeval Trees is the last thing we need just now. See ya. Time and space unfold. Alright. So, let's go over here. I'm pretty sure we gotta talk to Elizabeth again. Look at that. Another jury meeting conducted. Did we get wiser? Lisa's been rescued thanks to you, and we have a lead on Anne. But other than that, we're still going over the same ground. We need to collect the other 2 book copies so we can prepare ourselves to perform the ceremony when the time comes. Then we have to follow up on the information about Anne. But are we really ready to conduct a rescue operation in Pandora? Isn't that doomed to fail? Maybe there's another way. Maybe the sleeping widow can help us again. But before that, we probably have to return her favor. We'll have to keep our eyes and ears for the Dark Riders and their antics. It's obviously important to them to destroy us, and they nearly took you to Pandora. We need to take counteraction. Okay, so let's see. The debt to pay. Let's go to Lisa at Jorvik Stables. I think I can fast travel there. Maybe. Yeah, we'll just take that. Hi, Amanda. Now I feel truly rested after our recent hardships. I'm ready to talk to the sleeping widow to repay the debt I have to her after she helped me out of Pandora. Maybe you can help me. You know that ancient tree better than I do at this point, and I have the feeling that I won't exactly get away with being given an easy task. How lovely that you want to help me. I'm afraid I'm going to need all of the help I can get. Let's find out what kind of favor the sleeping widow is expecting. I'm curious as to what it could be. Right then, ready for a little adventure? Nice. Let's see who's gonna get to the sleeping widow first. Last one to the Primeval Tree is a little piggy. Take whatever route you like. I'm thinking I'll probably go through Goldspur Farm and over the northern Grey Dew Mountains. Starshine, run like the wind. Woohoo! Did I mess up? I hope I didn't just mess up. I don't think I did. Alright. Ha ha ha, that was fun. You did it. You won. I guess that means it's me who's the little piggy. But little piggies are cute too, right? Is she really still awake? Seems like she's sleeping. Maybe we can just get out of here. She's probably forgotten all about our favors and arrangements. Come on, let's head home. It's probably for the best. You want to try getting through to her? I suppose we'd better. Try talking to her and we'll see. Creak and crackle. About time. I wonder where you'd all got to. Oh, you're awake after all. Creak. My dear friend, I'm as awake as I can be. Firstly, I just want to repeat my thanks for helping me out of Pandora's prison. Without your help and the help of Starshine and Amanda, I'd never have been able to leave. I'm here to repay my debt to you. I'm completely at your service. What could I possibly do to repay what you did for me? Creak. I helped you out of your prison. Now I want you to help me out of mine. My wish is that you help me to once again become a part of the contact network of the Primeval Trees, and I'm certain you can help me. Humans took the lives of my kind with their barbaric deforestation, such despicable treatment. I will never forgive them, even though they swore it was a hideous mistake. Traitors, deceitful in soul and nature. Well, well, Creek. As if it wasn't enough that I was left alone when the lives of my kind were torn down, I was also disconnected from our network. Because of all this death, the roots that connected me to my kind withered away and died, leaving me isolated from our community. My roots may well reach all the way to Pandora, but they don't reach as far as the next living primeval tree. My companion was the link between me and the next tree, and was therefore my only connection to the network of roots that make it possible for us to communicate. I haven't been in touch with my kind for centuries. I thought perhaps you might take care of that, Lisa and Amanda. Dearest ancient tree, it's a true honor to receive such a task. Do you have any, some kind of, suggestion as to how we might exactly go about it? Oh, Lisa, I have a suggestion. When Aiden came to the world, she healed the land and spread life over the dead cliffs. With her song, her music, and her light, you can ride over the bay and bring my roots back to life so that I might reconnect with the Primeval Tree at Scarecrow Hill. Uh, difficult? No, no, my little friends. Aiden did it, and so can you. Creek. You're not trying to wriggle out of our agreement, are you? You won't disappoint me, like all the other treacherous humans have always done. Of course not. Not all humans are deceitful in their soul and nature. We're definitely not petty traitors. But the legend of Aiden's ancient exploits is exactly that. Just a legend. How do we... Creak. I don't know how you'll do it. Aiden could. You'll simply have to figure out how she did it. Now it's just a matter of a few roots. Aiden actually created life. I'm not asking for those kinds of miracles from you. How hard can it be? Creak, creak. How? No. It can't be that difficult, right? My roots need to reach right across the bay. You can see the Primeval Tree on Scarecrow Hill from here. So close, yet so far away. When my roots reach the other side, I'll be a part of the network of Primeval Trees again. You must help me. We'll do our absolute best. We promise to do everything in our power to help you. I know you're capable. Aiden was. I've spoken. It's up to you to get this done. The time for talking is over. Right over water? Bring dead roots back to life? How's that going to work? This all sounds pretty tricky. I doubt it'll work out. I've got no idea how we'll make her request come true. I suppose we can at least start with a little reconnaissance. Suppose we can at least start with a little reconnaissance. Sorry, I cannot pronounce that for some reason. Let's go and see if we can locate the remains of the sawn-down Primeval Tree. I seem to remember seeing a huge tree stump by the beach a little north of here. Let's go. Hold on. Sorry, y'all. Here's where the Primeval Tree was that was cut down centuries ago used to stand. So that means that the Sleeping Widow's roots reach to about here. We're going to need to make sure that the roots grow out over the bay here and right across to the beach at Golden Hills Valley on the other side. See it? Let's ride down to the shore over there and take a closer look. Here's a better view. See, right down there, I can just see how the roots stick out. They're a few feet below the water's surface, but they reach to here and no further. How's this ever going to work? Can't we just pull some strings across the bay and attach a couple of tin cans on either end? Easier to just talk on a tin can phone, right? No, sorry. Seriously though, it's pretty obvious we need help. We need advice. Linda knows loads about the Primeval Trees, and Elizabeth is usually full of wisdom. Linda and Alex are most often to be found on spy duty along the coast. They're keeping a lookout in case Dark Corps hoods come ashore someplace. Sometimes they're free though, and then Linda's almost definitely at the vineyard. I can ride over to Valedale and talk to Elizabeth if you go to the vineyard and get Linda's advice. If she's even there, that is. Okay? Alright. So, let's go. Hey, Amanda. So it's you again? Great to see you. Any news? Oh, you said you're going to do what? The Primeval Tree thinks you should copy the exploits of the Aiden from the legend? Oh my. When I read about the Primeval Trees and their fate, I also learned that Sleeping Widows was cut off from the network of roots, and so can't communicate with the others. I really understand why she'd ask you to do this. It must be awful to be so isolated in that way. But bringing life to dead roots, or even getting her roots to grow across an entire bay, sounds complex to me. That said, those Primeval Trees are wise. They know things we don't know. Maybe it's possible to do as Aiden did in the legend somehow. You've got the fragment with her light, and we know that the legend claims the light can bring life to the dead. I mean, the Sleeping Widow herself reacted to the light and those tears. According to the legend, Aiden had a harp in one hand and the life-giving light of yours flame in the other when she rode across the water. The legend says that her music and her light is what brought forth life to Jorvik. Lisa possesses the strong healing power of the Circle of Stars. With Lisa's healing magic, and if you've got the light and the harp, maybe you can actually do something similar to that which Aiden did in the legend. Maybe it's precisely what the Primeval Tree means. Maybe it can actually get the roots to grow over the seabed of the bay and reach the other side. Maybe. Maybe you don't literally need to actually ride over the water. Surely you can use a boat. Either way, you'll need the harp, and I know where it is. Oh. I have a text message on my cell phone from Lisa. She says she's spoken to Elizabeth, who seems to think that if you play the right melody of Aiden's harp, you can actually ride over the water. Lisa's apparently got all the info about how to learn the melody, which makes it all possible. She's on her way in a horse trailer. Where were we? Oh yeah. All these maybes. It seems as though Aiden's harp is on display at the museum at Jorvik City. They usually have it on show when they have their historical exhibits. Hey, by the way, do you know that this is the actual harp that's on Jorvik's flag? The green on the flag represents the beautiful green island of Jorvik and the luscious and rich life that covers the island. The blue above the green represents heaven and the blue below is the sea. The white line symbolizes timelines from history and for the future. But enough of Jorvik's flag now. Look, here comes Lisa. Hey guys, got anything yet? Yeah, Lisa, we have. I was just saying that as weird as it sounds, you might just be able to mimic Aiden's legendary life-bringing movements, just as the Primeval Tree seems to want. Amanda has the fragment. Lisa, you have the healing magic from the Circle of Stars. Elizabeth already told you that you can ride over the water with the help of a medley played on Aiden's harp. If that works, you won't even need to think about cheating with a boat. Excuse me. Amazing. It sounds totally crazy, but it's worth a try in any case. The worst that can happen is that we get a bit wet round the hooves. I'm still super doubtful as to whether it'll even work though. Oh well, I guess it'll be me playing the harp then, since I'm pretty well used to string instruments. Amanda, you're alright with shining the light fragment, since you've used it before and all. Aiden's fragment, which is with Amanda, is still loaded with light, so it doesn't need to be recharged. That's good, but back to the harp. Sadly, the museum in Jorvik City is closed for refurbishment. Yeah, typical. I heard that from Elizabeth, but she said the councilman in Silverglade Village is friends with the museum curator. And you, Amanda, you know the councilman pretty well, right? Smart. Amanda, you ride over to the councilman and ask if he wouldn't mind asking the curator for a favor by opening up the museum and lending us the harp for a while. Okay? Then it sounds like we've got a plan, right? Alright. So, let me make sure I don't need to click on her. Oh, I guess I do. We'll meet up here again after you've spoken to the councilman in Silverglade Village. In the meantime, I'm going to see if I can try to convince the butler to give us a ride to Jorvik City in his car. Alright. Amanda, wonderful weather, isn't it? And it's as nice almost every day. Have you thought about that? If I know the museum curator in Jorvik City, I know the museum curator very well indeed. We're old classmates, him and I can guarantee he'll let you in and let you borrow anything you need if I put in a good word for you, which obviously I will. Put in a good word, that is. You can put my good word in the bank. I'll call him right after we finish talking. You can ride back to your friends and let them know that the museum curator will absolutely welcome you with open arms. Of that you can be certain. Fantastic. Now at least we know that we're welcome at the museum. Now it's just a case of getting there. So Godfrey and I aren't on the best terms, Something about an airborne stirrup smashing through his car window. I'm not saying I did it, but if I did, it was an accident. You believe me, right? Ugh. Anyways, it's probably best you ask him for a ride. There's no way he'll say yes to me. Yes, I plan on driving to Jorvik City soon. I suppose you can take the back seat, but Walnut Legend is not allowed to accompany you. It is time to depart. Refreshments in the vehicle are prohibited. And please, Miss Cloudmill, stay far away from the windows. To the Jorvik City Museum we go. Good day to you. Welcome, welcome. I'm terribly proud to welcome you to Jorvik City Museum. Sadly, we're closed right now because of all the refurbishment work we're doing. But my good friend the councilman has put in something of a good word for you young ladies. The councilman's friends are my friends. Since you're my friends now, I shall of course open up the museum for you. I understand you are looking to loan something from our collection,
No.
Yes, dear curator. We pray humbly to borrow Aiden's harp. Oh, huh. It's a real treasure and terribly fragile artifact, you see. It's unique in its kind, and if the myth has any truth in it, it is really tremendously special. I don't really know.
Melao?
Artisha's our good curator. If we hadn't been absolutely desperate, we would never have had the guts to ask. This is really important to us, and I swear by Aiden's light that we'll bring it back to you in perfect condition. Well, well, I do suppose I promised the councilman I'd help out. His friends are, as I said, my friends. If you promise to guard it with your life and return it no later than tomorrow, then I rather suppose it would be acceptable for you to borrow it. Did you know, by the way, that we've never been able to date the harp? We only know it's incredibly old. Unfortunately, all of our exhibits are in storage because of the renovation, so you'll have to help me find it if you don't mind. Rather silly of me, but I don't actually have the inventory we made when we packed it all away, so it's rather chaotic here. I know it's in one of those boxes in the corner. You seem to be sharp and quick little youngsters, so you'll be sure to find it amongst these things in no time at all. While you're at it, you can even jot down a new inventory for me so that I know what's in each box. That way you can lend a hand since I'm lending you the harp.
Asmo.
Of course, curator, of course. Alright. Oh.
Ne?
How wonderful that you found Aiden's harp. Do excuse the disarray here, but now I've got help getting started with the new inventory that was handy. So you've got what you came for. Don't forget to return it in the condition you received it. It's so very precious, so you must handle it with extreme care and respect. Until we meet again.
Kom ne?
Finally, home again. That went well. Maybe I could be convinced to drive you into the city again some other time, but only maybe.
Bana.
So we've got the harp, but not the melody. I remember how to learn it, though, since Elizabeth told me exactly how. One has to be high up in a place surrounded by the silence and stillness of daybreak. If you have a gentle and kind soul, you'll be able to hear Aiden's melody on the wind. Us soul riders should have enough of the right spirit to make this work, says Elizabeth. One of the better places to hear the beautiful mystic melody of Aiden in the dawn winds is on top of the west wall cliff, but it's hard to get to. Amanda, do you know the path of the mountaineering hut north of Fargrove? Let's do it like this. Meet me on the path up to the mountain pass north of Fargrove, just north of where the Fargrove Championship starts. We'll ride there together just before dawn. I'll meet you on the mountain path north of Fargrove before dawn. I'll wait for you there and we can ride to the West Wall Cliff together. Alright. I'm gonna fast travel there. Alright.
Melao?
Hey Amanda, you're here already? We're a little early, but we can go to the place they call the West Wall Cliff and wait for daybreak there. Seriously though, Amanda, I don't think this is gonna work. Riding on the water? We'll see. I hope it works out though. I really hope with all my heart that we can do this and repay what we owe to the Primeval Tree. It's misty up on the mountain top and there are wolves up there. Oh well, come with me now and stay close. The path is steep and dangerous and the location is hard to find. Come on. Mm-hmm. Okay, before.
Tana.
Here it is. Wonderful views. Isn't it beautiful? It's great that the fog clears a little bit once you reach the top.
Hello.
Now we just need to wait for daybreak. We can sit here and eat some chips while we wait. There we go.
Tana.
Her song was so beautiful. Now that I've learnt the melody, we're all done here.
Hello.
Right then, let's rest a little here in this beautiful spot and practice the piece of music a little before we try to pull off this beat. See you down by the beach when we feel ready, next to where the roots stop. You've got the fragment of the light of Aiden, haven't you? Don't forget to bring it with you. A little while later. Now we've got to go to medieval camp.
Hello.
Hi, you excited? You got the light of Aiden with you? Then let's give this melody a go. Shine the light from the fragment and have it. Sorry, y'all.
Oh.
Right, we'll ride over the water here if everything's as it should be. Stay close to me and shine the light of Aiden fragment at even intervals. The roots must be healed with an even and steady flow. Keep pace with me, or you'll end up in the water and we'll have to start over. Okay. Okay. You need to ride close to Lisa while she plays the harp to make it possible to ride across the water. Meanwhile, the healing energy roots grow under the water. The healing energy star must never be allowed to lose its power. To top up your energy, you need to shine the fragment by pressing the button on the screen. Okay, so, okay.
Sana.
Well, what have we done? It seems like it actually worked. I'm speechless. I've never thought it would happen. I think we performed a miracle.
Oh,
It's not every day we get to make a miracle happen. Now we'll ride over to the sleeping widow and make sure everything's in order and that she feels like we paid our debt to her. See you by the Primeval Tree. Greetings, my friends. You've done the unbelievable and have fully repaid your debt to me with the favor I asked you for. I now have re-established contact with my kinsmen, and my life has meaning again. All thanks to you. Thank you. Go in peace.
oh,
Fantastic. Now we've restored the balance. there there I was thinking we'd never do it. Luckily I was wrong. There's just one little thing left to do, and that's to return the harp to the museum. You want to do it? Fine by me. I'll see you later at the vineyard. I'm going to see if I can find Alex, who should be on the lookout somewhere or other. I'm going to tell her what we've been up to. Here's the harp. Handle it with care. When you have it in your grasp, you can really get a feel for just how old it is. Hopefully our bitter butler agrees to drive you into the city again. Alright. Ah, good day to you. Back to the museum again? Well, I rather thought as much, since you probably need to be heading back with the harp. Well, if one has helped once, it's best that one sees it through to the very end, even if it is in the role of a private chauffeur. Let me clean the harp first. Perhaps it needs a little attention after having been used. It's not often one gets the chance to see such a beautiful artifact outside museum walls. There we are. Now the harp is beautifully clean and looks in lovely condition. Now let's head to the museum. Here, hold on to the harp the whole way there so that nothing happens to it. To the museum. Ah, look. Look who it is. Welcome back to Jorvik City Museum. And look, the harp is with you and it looks just like how it did when you loaned it. Not that I would expect anything else, of course. I truly hope you got good use from the beautiful old thing. Set it down carefully in this box if you would. You're the councilman's friend, and his friends are, of course, my friends. And friends are always welcome at the museum, regardless of whether it's open or closed, like it is now for refurbishment. Till next time, friends. Goodbye, goodbye. Leave the harp in that empty box beside me, and then we're all done. Goodbye, farewell. All right. So are we finished rowing to the museum for a while? Splendid. Have a lovely day, Amanda. Thank you, Amanda, for all the help. I've told Alex what we've accomplished today. Thanks to you, Amanda and Linda, we managed to perform that weird request from the Primeval Tree. Without you guys, I'd have been full of doubt and unable to do what we did. It's such a relief to have you around, and it's even nicer to no longer be indebted to the Primeval Tree. You're all true friends. It's an amazing feeling to be back with you all.
Dana.
The adventure is over for now. We'll see what happens here next. Doesn't seem as though Alex, Linda, and the Druids or the Spymaster have spotted any increased activity from Darkcore yet. But they're probably just waiting for the right moment. We'll have to remain on guard. Alright, let's see. So we're gonna have to wait. And it's a little over an hour. So I guess we'll just stop here and we'll start back up talking to Alex. Oh, excuse me. The next time we get on. So, everybody, as always, take care. God bless and happy writing.